I got a different kind of video for you this time. You see a pretty old beat up guitar before you. I got this guitar from a fellow who also has taken an interest in building and repairing guitars, which I started to get after I built my last guitar. If you ain't seen that video, check it out. Disclaimer once again, just like on my guitar build video, I am not a luthier. I don't really know what I'm doing, and the purpose of me doing this is just to learn how to do it. I know people who are familiar with this type of stuff and do know how to do this type of stuff, get pretty passionate about it, so I'm just asking for some mercy in case I don't do something right. I think this is a pretty cheap guitar. It is a Jom guitar. You might say Jom, but I'm pretty sure it's probably Jom. It was made in Mexico, and I'll see if I can get y'all a picture up here of the sticker in here. There's no serial number or anything. Guitarras De Calidad. So I think that is quality guitars made in Paracho, Michoacan. It seems like it's pretty cheap. It looked loose, so I was just gonna touch it, and it just popped right off. I put it out on the internet. I said, if anybody has any guitars that are in a horrible borderline, throw it in the trash condition, let me know. Let's do some inspecting on it. Immediately, the first thing you can see is there's no bridge. We need to make a bridge. It's got hot glue all over it. And y'all, you don't know what it took for me to not take the hot glue off until I finally had the camera rolling. It's got this weird green stuff on here, like it almost seems a little rubbery, so I don't know if that was some kind of adhesive. It kind of just peels right off. It's got a burn right here. That's not a knot in the wood, that's a burn. I don't think there's anything we can do about that, and that's more aesthetic, if anything else. And throughout this whole thing, I'm not really going to be concerned with improving the aesthetics of the guitar. I just want to see if I can get it playable again. Nothing is loose at all. I checked all around it. There's no, the top is still on here real sturdy. I'm glad there's no binding, because I feel fairly confident with this guitar, but if I had a guitar that needed like binding replaced, I'd be screwed. Yeah, Junior. Lots of scratches. Watch out, Junior. It's got a crack right here, really small. We'll fix it. You see, there's a ding, and right below that, there's a hairline crack. And that should actually be pretty easy to fix. The back looks good. I mean, this whole guitar has lots of little nicks and dings all over it, but it's really weird because this fingerboard, or the fretboard, is made out of oak. And what's interesting is this quarter sawn oak is a veneer, because I can see where it's chipping away. The fingerboard is definitely oak, which is another thing that causes me to suspect that this is a pretty cheap guitar. Get off my leg. The frets are bad. Really wish I had like a mirror so I could look up at the top. Like nobody tried to clean up their glue mess. It's got no kerfing. It doesn't have that. It's got some kind of wood bent around here, kind of doing the same thing that kerfing would do. Okay, that's not good. So I didn't notice anything from the outside, but looking on the inside, it is starting to lift. Because at least right now, I see no reason or benefit to taking it apart because I didn't hear anything loose in there. The braces got like little tiny wood blocks glued on top of them that look like they do nothing. So I don't know what's up with that. God, guys. Really narrow strips of wood, and they feel like they're probably no thicker than 1/8 of an inch going like that. And I don't like that because this has no bridge plate. That could be a reason why the bridge wouldn't stay in the first place. And the biggest problem that we have, I look down the plane of the guitar, the neck is swooping in. And it's noticeable. I think that's normal for guitars to have that a little bit, and you would call it relief, but this is like bad. And from what I understand is when it comes to neck angle, it should be leaning back, and when you look down the plane, up here should kind of disappear below the guitar, but it's sitting up. I would say about by a ½ inch. This is a classical guitar. They do not have a truss rod, so since there is no truss rod, I don't know how we're gonna fix that. I don't know, and I'm totally guessing as we go along. But you gotta let me do some work on this. I'm gonna lay by Junior. So I'm gonna scrape the hot glue off and the strange green stuff. Oh, jeez. You're about to be put on the floor. The green stuff comes off easy. Hot glue itself comes off easy. There's one area though down here where it's like the hot glue is like squished and flat down in there instead of blobby like this. And again, I'm trying to be careful around the finish. I'll probably mess with that stuff after I get the hot glue and the green crap out of the way. The hard, crispy stuff that's on there. Yeah, I might try to see if I can find me a razor blade and this tiny piece of wood that chipped out. I'm gonna glue it back in place. It should fit right back where it came from pretty easy. I'm thinking, and again, I ain't no expert, but I'm thinking it has these problems because it doesn't have a bridge plate, and it wasn't made with a bridge plate. There's that spot where it's coming off on the back, and that would be an easy fix because I could just kind of scrape in there and clean it, and then just glue it and clamp it down, and that's a problem solved. But I don't know how I'm going to put a bridge plate in there without taking the back off. We may got to take the back off this. So I made up my mind. We're going to take the back off. But it's going to drive me crazy if I can't put a bridge plate in there. So I'm putting this chisel under here just to wedge this up a little bit. Work loose under here. Yeah, I may see if heating it up will help. Alright, I got the iron on here now, so I'll see if that helps. Woo! Touch myself with it. Whoa! It's working! Hey, the scratching was working better than the other thing was. It's going so much easier now. So I'm gonna continue this process and I'll get y'all up when it's about to come off. We were so close. Don't look at it, Junior. You'll make it not work. Whoa! There it goes. Why and where are we stuck? Woo! Ah, those little blocks I said that was doing no help. Right there, one of those. Those were hanging on. Okay. So I'm taking these 3 braces out the center. This one came out pretty easy, mostly in one piece. This one came out in chunks. see if I can find any weak points on it and just sort of get it to pop up. Big old chunk at least. Well, I'm gonna keep working on that. I don't know if it was from my spatula when I was taking the back off, but some of these braces are loose on the ends. I'm just gonna go ahead and fix that. Get some glue down inside there. And I think I might stop there tonight. This morning I sanded down this area and I've cut out this new bridge plate out of walnut. I wish I had something that was wider and a little bit longer. I'm gonna glue that in place and hopefully it'll help take out some of that warping that's going on. Now, I'm not sure if classical guitars usually have a bridge plate or not, but I don't see why not, because the bridge plate will give you that extra stability and reinforcement so stuff like that doesn't happen. Okay, hopefully that'll work. It's still got some of that dip up here, but it does seem that it flattened out the bridge area pretty good. I've already scraped off most of the glue that was already on here. I think we could glue the back on. Alright, I'm gonna just keep clamping. Sounds pretty good. One issue that really needs to be addressed is the neck. It is in horrible condition. As the neck goes along, it's swooping up really bad. Classical guitars like this do not have a truss rod. I don't really know what to do to fix it. For about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to put a clamp on it. Well, I'm going to flip it over and put a clamp on it and see if I can draw that bow out of there. Now, we don't want to crack it. It's probably going to want to spring back, and I may have to do this several times. This has been sitting for several hours, so I'll see if that did anything. Now, I've looked up this process, and it's something that could have to be repeated several times, because who knows how long it's been bent like that, so it's highly probable that it'll want to go back to that shape again. Believe it or not, somehow it almost looks worse. So I don't know, it's looking like the problem's right here. So maybe I'll try heating up this area and seeing if I can put pressure here. I made up a mixture here of just glue and sawdust to kind of work as like a wood filler. And I'm just letting y'all know now that I'm making a bridge out of oak because I've looked up this guitar and I found ones that look just like this same one, and it definitely has an oak bridge. Now I know that oak is not a wood used on guitars, especially acoustics. I want to make it as much as it was originally. If it had an oak bridge on it to begin with, then we're going to put an oak bridge on it. I've gone ahead and I've sanded this area down smooth, and I'm going to glue the bridge on. I forgot about the cracks in the side. My idea is to fill it with CA glue. And it's really runny, so it should go right down in there. I went ahead and I glued the nut back on. This is going to be hard for me to show since my camera ain't that good, but there's the hole. I cut this little sliver of wood, and I'm going to use CA glue to stick it in place. I'll leave that to dry in there, and then I'll sand it flush. At least along the body, I want to go and just touch up some areas with some dye. Another thing I'm going to do is go over the whole guitar with some oil, just to rejuvenate the old finish. And the old Jom guitar, after putting that oil on it, put some strings on it, some nylons. Can I be honest? I hate nylon strings. I owned a classical guitar years ago, and it just seemed like it was impossible to keep it in tune, and I just hate the way they feel, and the wide neck of class. I'm just not good with the classical guitar is what it is. Now, the action is pretty high. It's very high, actually. It's got really high action. And that still has to do with the neck angle, so that underbow that was swooped in there, I did get that out. It's pretty flat across the fretboard. It's got a little bit of relief. I think everything else went really good. I think its intonation is a little off, which could be because of the neck, the high action, or maybe I didn't get something right on the bridge, but don't sound too bad. I'll do y'all part of a song because I don't want to get in trouble by the YouTube for the copyright. So just a little bit, just so you can kind of hear how the Jom sounds. About a year ago, I set out on the road, seeking my fame and fortune, looking for a pot of gold. Then got bad, then got worse. Guess you know the tune. Oh Lord, stuck in low guy again. There it is, first time ever guitar restoration. We fixed the cracks, the holes, the splits, all that sort of stuff on there. If you liked and enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel because I do woodworking projects, but I would like to do some more guitar stuff, and we're gonna do another restoration pretty soon on this old silver tone guitar. If you want to see that, you might want to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.